Vamos, friends, this is your boy, and welcome back to another episode of South Stand Signings. This series, of course, we go through everything happening in and around the world of Leeds United. And we have a little talk about it. And last night for you guys, about a couple of hours ago for me, Leeds did, of course, just play Shresbury in the EFL Cup, the Carabao Cup, whatever you want to call it. And we did win 2-1, but it wasn't the most convincing of victories, I do have to say so myself. Obviously, it was impossible for any of us to watch the full game. I was listening to radio commentary, I was listening to reports, and of course, I did get a chance a couple of hours ago to look over the highlights and assess it, and it wasn't the most glamorous game of football, shall we say. From what I did see, Leeds were a lot more improved within the second half, as opposed to the first half. We started quite flat, and indeed went down to Shrewsbury. It was a deflected goal. It wasn't a beautiful goal. It took a nick off the defender and ended up flying over Carl Darlow, who dove and maybe got like a little fingertip to it. But still not good signs. We should be blowing a side like Shrewsbury out the water. We did change a few players around, granted. But alas, what happened in the game is not really making any headlines, and it's not something that anyone's going to be talking about tomorrow. The main story circulating from this obviously does regard to Leeds' transfer activities, and unfortunately, it's not about a player coming in to a club. Unfortunately, it is about a player potentially departing the club, and that is Wilfried Gnonto the third, so Willie G, if you will. And apparently, he actually asked to be left out of the squad. I know, pretty criminal stuff. If this does come out to be true, then this is very, very damning stuff. Now, obviously, all this news started circulating after Farke was asked in his post-match interview, why was Wilfried Gnonto not in the squad? And he came out and he said he wasn't in the squad because he wasn't available. He clarified that he wasn't injured. He was not available for selection. And moments after that, the Mail Online started coming out reporting that the Leeds winger Wilfried Gnonto asked to be left out of the matchday squad for the Carabao Cup tie as he seeks an immediate move away from Ellen Road. However, thankfully, Leeds apparently seem unwilling to let him go at this current moment in time. Leeds have been steadfast in their response to the interested party, saying they don't wish to sell the Italian international who has 4 years left on his contract. That's right, we signed him on a 5-year deal. We're not just going to keep him for 1 year. Let's keep him tied down. He's 19 years of age. All the power is in our hands. Are you telling me that we're going to let a 19-year-old hold the club to ransom? Are you going to tell me that we're going to let other clubs bully us for a player that we have 5 years left on his deal? Seems a little bit ludicrous, if you ask me. Leeds have allowed a number of players to leave owing to relegation clauses, and more expected to go. I mean, we've already seen an absolute litany of disgraceful release clauses. I mean, that £3 million Rodrigo one, that £0 million Robin Koch one, and of course, my light going away on a record £0 release clause from me. But it is back. Alas, it turns out we had a rebuy clause on the light. Unfortunately, I don't think we do have a rebuy clause on someone like Rodrigo Moreno. However, this story does then go on to say Leeds have allowed a number of players to go. Just read that, bloody I'm losing the plot now. Gnonto played 82 minutes of Leeds' opening championship game against Cardiff under City. Understand Leeds' position, but is growing frustrated as he wants the opportunity to speak to interested clubs and return to playing top-flight football, especially with a place in Italy's squad at stake in the European Championships at the end of the season. Why is this especially a big issue? It is because Mancini has supposedly come out and he said, listen, mate, if you're not playing at the top flight, you're not getting in my squad. I don't care what you do. So that is why Wilfried Gnonto seems to be extra keen on trying to push for a move through away from Leeds this summer. Now, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you see this as a massive disrespect? A player refusing to don the Leeds United kit? A player refusing to play in a vital cup match for the club? Do you see that as nothing more than a guy trying to get his wish and trying to talk to other clubs? Or do you see that as outright disgraceful? I'm really intrigued to hear what you guys have to say. These kind of issues are always a polarizing issue because you could look at it on the one hand, how could you dare disrespect the club and the fans like that by refusing to play a match, by refusing to put that kit on and play? Do you know how many millions of people would kill to play for Leeds United? Do you know how many people go at night dreaming, wishing they could play for 10 seconds at Ellen Road, let alone have an entire cup game against them, and you're just going to throw that opportunity away? There's a lot of people that will throw that argument out there. There's also a lot of people that would potentially throw the argument, hey, you're kind of holding the kid back. He's an extremely talented youngster who wants to get out there, and you're basically forcing him to stay. Now, I look at it personally. I don't really care about the potential of him being demotivated for next season. I don't really care about people saying that, oh, well, if we force him to stay, his head's not going to be in it. He's disrespected us. Let him go. No. Okay? We are not in a position where we are able to take that moral high ground and say, you know what? If you don't want to be here, get out of here. We're in a position where it is imperative, absolutely imperative, that we hold on to him. If we do want to stay up, we have to keep him, we have to keep Somerville, we have to keep Sinistera, and we have to add to it. That is the only chance we have of gaining promotion back to the Premier League. It is the only shot we have. We cannot, I repeat, cannot afford to let Wilfried Gnonto hold this club to ransom. We cannot afford other clubs to mug Leeds about in this transfer negotiations. £15 million, £20 million that they're offering is ludicrous. Had we stayed in the Premier League, we would be getting £50 million for a player of Wilfried Gnonto's potential. He's 19 years of age, all right? He's a young kid, and he's already doing amazing things, okay? I say we hold on to him. I don't care if he's slightly demotivated. We show the power. We show other clubs around us that we're not going to be mugged about. We're not going to be mugged off by these other teams, and maybe that will kind of force other clubs away, or if they do come in for our players, they'll actually come in with higher transfer fees. Because if we don't, and if we just suddenly cave to this, to what we didn't want to do, to a player that we said there's no chance of us selling him at all this window, then what you could see happen is other clubs smell blood and start praying for all our players, sending cutthroat fees, negotiations, getting into players' heads, and seeing us as a Mickey Mouse club. That we cannot afford to happen. But that's my take, at least. Let me know yours down in the comments section down below, or maybe even the live chat. Shout out to the people in the live chat right now while this is premiering. Shout out to you absolute living legends. And of course, also, drop your comments in the comment section down below just so we can talk about them or go back to them in a few hours' time when this is no longer premiering. If you do have any pertinent thought, that is. Now, speaking of a situation or a topic that a lot of us are going to have pertinent thoughts on, and not the good kind, it is regarding another transfer. Unfortunately, this time, a failed transfer, and it is Maxwell Aarons. And the medical update emerges as Leeds United's move was, of course, hijacked by Bournemouth. This is tragic. This is embarrassing. But yesterday, of course, we all know the news. Max Aarons' deal was hijacked by Bournemouth, and they have basically set their medical into motions. It was reported midway through yesterday by Fabrizio Romano. Max Aarons to Bournemouth. Here we go. Leeds United deal has been hijacked with the last move of the £7 million plus add-ons bid now accepted by Norwich, and Bournemouth left a May League deal to focus on the Aarons hijack. You little snakes. You little snake in the grass, mate. You absolute snake in the grass. And it is Iriola yet again. Leeds are getting mugged off by everyone here, aren't we? We're getting absolutely violated by this. Iriola, first of all, we wanted to get him last year. Well, that was the guy we were supposed to go for. That was the deal we were supposed to get done. And what did we do? We mucked about. We left it too late. We weren't able to get him. We then mucked about, got ourselves relegated, and then a small, little, pitiful, irrelevant club like Bournemouth were able to steal him away and managed to get him this year. They then have gone and stolen a guy that would have been a key acquisition for Leeds, an imperative in getting us up, because we need a fullback. Our fullback situation is very threadbare right now. Yeah, we've got Cody Drama, but that's about it. Ayling's a little bit past it. Held is not a great fullback. Firpo's injured. Sam Byram, I mean, maybe he'll grow on me, but right now I haven't been too crazily impressed with his performances, if I'm being frankly honest with you. Aarons is a player we could have really done with. And now he's been snuck away from us. And it's not just Bournemouth mugging us off, it's Norwich as well. Norwich mug us off. Before, they used to take all our players when they were in the Premier League and we were in the Championship. They used to take all of our players, yeah? Including Byram himself. I'm pretty sure it was Norwich. Or did he go to Burnley? I'm pretty sure it was Norwich. But flipping heck, it's forgotten it was so long ago. I tried to wash all these memories out of my head, but they took a bucket load of our players. Have Norwich in the past, and now that they can't do that again, they're instead deciding to sell players that Leeds want to other clubs at the last second. Absolute little snakes. There are a lot of them. But let me know what you guys think about this deal anyway. Are you really pressed on the fact that Max Aarons is not coming, or do you not really care? Do you not really care about it that much? Now, another player who Leeds are looking for is, of course, Edouard Michut from Paris Saint-Germain. Leeds United have fresh competition in the race to sign him, however, and that is, of course, coming from various Bundesliga clubs, most notably TSG Hoffenheim, who were, of course, the former employers of one Jorginho Rota, and FC Augsburg, who have inquired about the possibilities of a loan or transfer for the Leeds United target. However, have not submitted a concrete offer over to Paris Saint-Germain. Now, this is, of course, something that would interest a lot of Leeds United fans. Is it a deal that Leeds are likely to get done anyway? Not something that I think is very close right now, but if any more information comes out and I get this scoop, make sure you're damn right I'll keep you in the loop. Now, one player who there is a little bit more concrete information as opposed to Leeds signing is, of course, Gustavo Hamer. And according to the Athletics' Phil Hay, the Peacocks are still very, very keen on signing the Coventry star Hamer, however you want to pronounce his name, despite the deal not being cheap or easy to do. According to the Football Insider, the West Midlands side have set a price tag of £12 million plus and an additional £2 million of add-ons for any team that wants to sign the 26-year-old, which, while very expensive, could be achievable for Leeds, especially should they get £20 million for American international Tyler Adams, which I hope doesn't happen. I hope we can keep hold of him. If the 49ers group can get this deal over the line, it'll be a great way to improve this side and win the fans over. Gustavo Hamer would be the signing of the window. Some fans are saying not about signing of the window, but he would certainly be a great deal, that's for sure. The biggest signing for the window that Leeds can make, if you do ask me personally, is keeping hold of Crescencio Somerville. That's the most important signing Leeds can make, and it is keeping hold of him. Second great signing we can make, keeping hold of Sinistera. Third great signing, keeping hold of Gnonto. Fourth greatest signing, keeping hold of Tyler Adams. We keep hold of those four. We've got a good chance. And then we can reburst with some extra acquisitions. And finally, in the news, one man who had his reaction to yesterday's game was, of course, Daniel Farke. He wasn't just talking about Wilfried Gnonto, but he came out with a classic quote. He came out with the classic Leeds quote. Oh, so that everyone can come out and say, hey, he gets it. He's bloody Leeds, this geezer. Good, son. He's Leeds through and through. We're Leeds United. We never make it easy. But you know what? I'm not falling for it. That is a classic line. I've seen it a million times. You ain't going to pull the rug over my eyes, sunshine. You're going to have to do a little bit more than that if you want to endear yourself to me just so soon. A couple of quirky catchphrases. Oh, we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. We're a cursed club, you know, we're Leeds United. We never make it easy, do we? I don't know why I did a bit of a Cockney accent. Should have gone to Yorkshire. We're Leeds United. We never make it easy. But it's not going to do enough to endear me just yet. You're going to have to do a little bit more of that, fella. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys thought about all of this down in the comment section down below. But for now, it's been your boy JT. It has been an absolute pleasure to speak to you guys once more. For now, guys, I will see you very, very soon. Au revoir, my brothers and my sisters.